Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing another train with me video. Today's topic is advice with Rose. You guys asked me some questions and gave me some situations you're dealing with currently, and I'm going to be giving some advice. I would just like to start this video by saying I am not a licensed counselor or therapist or anything, and my advice is not replacement for professional opinion. Just putting it out there. This is mostly a for fun kind of video.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion!
I hope I can get to as many as I can. Let's get started. I'm currently writing Coach, and I don't know if I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to start with the new Western races.
I'm probably going to regret it.
I truthfully haven't done these races since they came out, and so here we are. Okay, the first person asked, "Hey Coco, if you're reading this, thank you so much. You're my freaking idol." Okay, so I have this little group of friends with 3 people, not including me, and every time they want to go do something, they don't ask if I want to come with, so they just leave me. I'm an introvert, so the first few times I did not mind, but now I'm starting to feel lonely. I have one other friend that plays so with me to cheer me up, but it still sucks because another friend is gossiping about everything I told her when we were besties. About that, I'm a Therian and that stuff. This biatch is gossiping about everything I do, also things that are just not real. The other friend group is kind of in the middle, so I don't know if they'd be mad at me. But I still have one secret that no one knows, only her. Should I tell the rest of the class and leave the other friend group and stick with my only friend? I'm sorry if my spelling is not great. It's 3 a.m. OMG. I know this was a long one, but if you read this, thank you so much. Love you. That's so nice. Okay, so based on what you said, it kind of sounds like you know what you should do, but it sounds like it's going to be a hard transition for you. Anyone that talks about you behind your back is not your friend, they're just not your friend. Even if they apologize, the kind of person that would do that to you once, I mean, that's not really the kind of person I want to associate with, and I'm all about forgiveness, but I feel like if people are just mean and they're that kind of person who would talk bad about, even if it's not about you, if it's about someone else, if they'll talk crap about someone else, that's eventually going to be you. You should probably lean in towards the direction of the friend who's actually been there for you this whole time, it sounds like. I mean, I don't know the details of everything, but I would be out of there so freaking fast. Yeah, especially if people are telling like your personal business and stuff, like nothing is worth that. It's really not. But up to you. It's your decision what you really want to do, but I would ditch that friend group so freaking fast. I cannot. If there's one thing I cannot handle, it is gossip. Well, I mean, sometimes there's a fine line between gossip and useful information about people to know, like FYI, this person did this, you know, this problem needs to be fixed or whatever. But just talking bad about people and telling other people your personal business when you're not doing anything, that's super uncool. I would maybe search for some new friends. Or it sounds like you have a friend, which is perfect. I would just spend more time with them and try to lean on that friendship more. Wow, I can't believe we survived that.
I was talking about the race, by the way, not your question.
The next person said, "So I still have 17 horses to train, but I don't have the motivation. Do you have any tips?" Well, first of all, if I only had 17 horses to train, man, I have so many horses to train. I think you don't have to train them, first of all, but if you want to train them, I would say make a training schedule. I made a Google Forms of all my horses, and that also really helped me. It's motivating because I made a little graph and it tells me how many horses are maxed, how many horses aren't. I feel like them giving us like the gold nameplate also helps. When the horse is level 15, it gives it a little more extra pizzazz to level up a horse. But most of all, I would just say I put on a podcast, or I'll listen to music, or I'll watch TV while I train. It's not usually that I'm super motivated to train, but I feel like I always have to be doing a million things at the same time, and so I'll just put SSO on in the background of whatever else I'm doing, and that is my advice. Put something else on, and maybe make like a little map out of all your horses and what levels they are. Maybe being organized will help you. Maybe make a plan of what horses you're going to train each day and how many levels you want to train them on. And I would set a goal with realistic expectations. Like if you say I'm going to max a horse every day, it's probably not going to happen. But if you said I'm going to move my horse up 3 levels every day, I think that's realistic. It's been a year since I moved to another continent and got married, and I haven't seen my parents in person since. Should we save up to go see them or have them come visit us instead? This all depends on everyone's like financial situation. If your parents are fully able to come visit you, I feel like, and it depends on like your relationship with your parents too. I think that they will understand though, if as a young married couple, you're not able to afford to fly to another country, another continent to see them, because it's expensive, and being young married is expensive too. I don't know. It's depending on how close you are with your parents. I'd say maybe have a discussion about, hey, we'd love to see you guys sometime, or you're welcome to come visit anytime. Just put the feelers out there and see, because maybe they think you don't want them to visit. Maybe they think you don't want them to visit. Maybe they're thinking we'll give you space. Maybe if you like offered, hey, we'd love to have you come down, then they'd be more willing, or be like, oh, we'd love to come. I don't know what will happen, but best of luck with that situation. I have problems with my appearance. I always think I'm ugly or overweight overweight, even though no one has ever told me that. This bothers me because when I'm in a place with a lot of people, I always think I'm the ugliest one there.
Oh my gosh, bro, I can't.
And this stops me from talking to them because I feel somewhat unwanted. Any tips on how I can feel better about myself? You're not alone in this. There are so many...
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make light of this. This is a serious submission, so I'm trying to take it seriously, but also I'm failing this race. This is a very common, I feel like, feeling amongst most people. I think most people feel this way. I think first of all, realizing you're not alone, and that's not to like make your problem small, because if your problem is not small, if it's hard for you, then I'm not gonna like make that less. And I'm sure that must be really hard, and I'm sorry you feel that way. I think like the first thing I would say is you have to shift your perspective a little bit. It sounds like, and most of like people in the world tell you the most important thing in the world is your looks and your appearance. And while to some extent people do value that, it's just not true. Your appearance is not who you are. And really, sometimes I think people spend so much time working on their appearance, which in some ways it's important to work on yourself. But if you're focused on appearance only, you're never going to be happy. I know so many friends who lost weight and are still never happy with themselves, even though they look great. And I think that's because their primary goal was to look a certain way or to appear a certain way instead of working on themselves because they love themselves. I would say first you need to love yourself as you are. And if you can do that, then you can literally do anything. I would say the mindset you have when you're working on yourself is the most important. If you think I want to look weight to be skinnier so people will like me, sure, you could do that. That's fine. But I think it'd be even better to say, I really care about myself and I want to eat healthy to take care of my body so I'm healthy. I would say that is the most important thing. You should treat yourself as someone valuable because you're very valuable, and don't ever think that you're less because of your appearance. Everyone is unique, and just because people tell you need to look a certain way to be pretty, it's not true. Everyone's beautiful in their own way, and people are so critical, especially with the internet, but all of it is fake. Everyone on the internet is fake. They edit themselves, and everyone is insecure. You're not the only person. I really hope that helps a little bit, but also don't just rely on my advice. Of course, if needed, you should seek professional advice too. And
I really hope that you realize how amazing you are and take care of yourself. It's not funny. Get out if you're gonna continue to laugh and make fun of me. I'm tired of it.
okay, then on a lighter topic, the next person asked, how do you figure out what it is you want to do after education? I finished over a year ago, and I am still struggling to put myself out there because I'm not sure what I want to do. I feel like a lot of my subscribers, I have a lot of adult subscribers, and then I have younger ones who are still in high school and probably even younger than that. So I guess this will be my older sister Rose advice. First of all, that is one of the hardest things ever, to decide what you want to do after high school or after education, not even high school, maybe at college, because I finished college as well. And the first thing when you're graduating from college, everybody always asks you is, what are you gonna do for work, or what are you doing next? And I mean, well, that question, they're just trying to be nice. It is a stressful question. It's a loaded question. And the truth of the matter is, not every college major sets you up for a job equally, if that makes sense. Some people study something they're really passionate about in college, and it's just not really as easy to get a job with. And I'm not saying you shouldn't follow your passions. I think that's really important. But I think first realizing primarily you want to just get a job, and get a job that will support you somehow or somewhat. And I think a lot of times, I mean, I don't know what situation you're in. I'm sure you have your own issues like everyone else. But I would say one piece of advice I would give to people kind of in this situation for consideration is there's no such thing as a perfect job. I don't know, a lot of people on maybe TikTok. I don't watch TikTok because it sucks your soul out. But I think a lot of the internet is romanticizing people's lives. People share only the best of everything, only the highlight reel, and you don't see the hard things. Every job has pros and cons. Same with me. I really like my job, but it's not perfect, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't have days where I want to quit. But that doesn't mean that it's not a good job. We all have ebbs and flows, how things are going. Sometimes if we create this ideal in our head that this job has to be perfect and has to check all these boxes, we're never going to get a job. It's going to be like decision paralysis. What does that thing people say? Paralysis by analysis. If you think too much about it and you try to get a perfect job, you're not going to find it. There isn't such thing. There's really not such a thing. I would say there's not a perfect answer. There isn't the job that's perfect for me. I think if you find something you enjoy, you should just go for it, and don't get paralyzed by, well, what if there's a better thing that comes up? Well, if something better comes up, take that later. But I think it's better just to start making a decision and going in any direction, and then you'll kind of learn if it's right or wrong as you go. But I think sometimes people get so stuck and they don't even make a decision or even try because it's so overwhelming. You just gotta make a decision and go for it. Do you have any advice for a senior about to graduate high school?
You know I do.
I have a lot of advice. advice. So I feel like I grew up in kind of a smallish town, but there were a lot of people in my high school. It was like 1,000 people in my class. So I know you're like, that is not a small town. Well, it was a really big high school, but it's not a big city. It wasn't a big city by any means. Anyways, I was definitely a small fish in a big pond in high school. And so the transition to college for me, or not even college, but just life after high school, was pretty easy because in the real world, not to be rude, but nobody really cares what you're doing. I think in high school, people are so worried about what everyone thinks and everyone's all in everyone's business. And in the real world, outside of high school, it's not like that. People are all doing their own thing. And I think I had a lot of friends who were like big fish in the pond. They were really popular. Everyone liked them. And then when they went on outside of high school, they didn't know how to function because nobody cared about them anymore. They went out in the real world and they were kind of a nobody. And that sounds sad to say, but I think just being aware that life isn't like high school. And for me, that was a good thing because I was already kind of prepared like for no one to really care what the heck I was doing because I was minding my own business in high school. I would say just have the mindset that things will be different and don't try to stay in high school forever. You definitely come across people who are still living like a high schooler. And that's not saying like you have to move out of your house and be independent. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about mindset and maturity. Like some people still think they'll spend their whole lives trash talking other people behind their back, being just rude and just, I don't know, having that high school mindset, like, I don't know, trying to hold other people back and like not being happy for people. I think that's just such a high school mindset. Not everyone's like that in high school, but I do find that to be kind of a high school-esque attitude. I would say just be prepared for it to be different and don't try to stay in high school. Try and change with the change. Try and let yourself grow as a person when you leave high school instead of wishing you were still in high school and wishing things would be the same, because they won't be the same, but they could also be better. You never know. For me, they're better.
I didn't like high school.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. Yeah, I wish you the best. Congrats on your upcoming graduation. It's a big deal. Very exciting. What would you do if your friend group was leaving you out, talking about you behind your back? By the way, love you so much. Thanks, that's so nice. Well, what do you mean, what would I do? I've definitely had this happen. I think that everyone's had this happen to them. Maybe not, this isn't true, but I think especially girls, but maybe that's not true. Who knows? I'm a girl, but I don't know everyone's experience. All I'm saying is girls in high school, man, they were mean. The thing about me is though, I grew up with brothers and I did not care. I had no sisters. I was like, drama? What's that? What is drama? In middle school, I think especially like in 7th grade, when you're like 11 or 12, I was like, okay, my friends that I was friends with in elementary school are kind of mean. And you know what I did? I'm like kind of introverted anyways. I just ignored them. I was like, these people. And I didn't also care. I didn't really care what people thought that much. So when they were leaving me out and stuff, I was like, sweet, I can play Call of Duty with my brothers this weekend instead of going to that party that I wasn't invited to. But, and not to be joking around, because I know that can hurt. There were definitely times where it did hurt my feelings. I have one specific example, and I guess I'll share it because when is this person ever gonna watch this? I made a friend when I was in 7th grade, and she didn't have any friends. I mean, she did, but she didn't really have friends in the school. And I kind of had a group of friends like from church, honestly. And so I hung out with them, and she was in my like PE class. Like we would always hang out in PE. And one day I was like, do you want to come hang out with my friends for lunch? Like you can come sit with us. And she was like, yes, I would love that. Anyways, she quickly became friends with my friend group too, and it was super fun. And she then started to proceed to leave me out and do stuff with them without me, which is fine. You don't have to invite everyone to everything. But I feel like in high school, it's different. It's kind of mean not to sometimes. Depends on the situation. Anyways, and then she would like say mean things about me, and she kind of just became a real jerk. Anyways, this girl, we're friends now, and I've forgiven her for it, but she never apologized or anything. I just decided to move on. Here's the thing about people. People are really just interested in themselves. Some people don't care about other people's feelings, and I think those people are the ones that are struggling the most. They don't have any energy to worry about other people because they're so stressed about their own issues. I wouldn't take it personally because they're not leaving you out because you're not fun or anything. A lot of the time, it's honestly because they're insecure and it makes them feel good to put other people down, and it really doesn't have anything to do with you. I would say find other friends. That's exactly what I did. When that started to happen, I was like, forget this. And I just started hanging out with other people. And I've always been kind of an independent person, so it didn't really bother me to hang out with other people, but I know that's hard for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like being alone, so that's what I did, but hopefully that kind of works for you. Hey, Rose just graduated high school, and a lot of my friends have moved away either for work or school, or in general a lot more busy. I wonder if you have any advice on making friends now that I am outside of school, maybe both in real life but also in game. I'm taking a gap year for college or university, but at my job, there are only people double my age working, and so I can't really find any friends there. Oh my gosh. I'm finding it really difficult at the moment. Maybe you could give me some advice. Honestly, I think I am in the same boat. Honestly, that's me. And that's the thing about leaving high school too. Like, I've been out of high school a while. Like, if you're fresh out of high school, you're probably not used to this, but people are a lot more on their own when you leave high school. Like, everyone's busier doing their own things. It's definitely hard because even like my really close friends, I barely see them because they're like doing stuff. I don't know. They're busy in their lives, and same, I'm busy too, but you don't see them as much. And it is hard because yeah, I work a job too with like, they're mostly like people not my age. So I'm like, I don't want to be friends with them, but yeah, it is hard. I would say the only thing I found helpful is find like a group or find some sort of community that appeals to you. You could try like volunteering and find friends that way. Definitely I made a lot of my friends when I was in school, for sure. Some of my lifelong friends are from not even high school, from like college, or I don't know, join like a club or some sort of thing in your community. It definitely depends on what is available to you depending on where you live, but I don't know, for me, I make a lot of friends at church. That's like my community of people, but you can find friends anywhere. It does take effort, and I'm really bad at that, so I don't even think I'm able to give this advice. Okay, this is a lot lighter topic. Someone said, I don't know if I should buy a Lifetime Star Rider or not. Is it worth it? Here's my thoughts on Lifetime Star Rider. It depends on what you're thinking. Are you thinking of doing monthly instead? If so, I think you should save up for lifetime, because monthly is a waste of money. You just end up spending more money than you would have on lifetime. And if you really think you're gonna play this game for years and years, for example, I've been playing this game for a long time. It has already become worth it. I would just fork out the money and do it. If you're financially not able to, then totally understand that. Then I would probably just save up, honestly. I would save up. I wouldn't do monthly because it is I feel like it's a waste of money because you end up spending more. I never understood that. So anyways, I would say it's worth it. I mean, but also I'm a content creator for this game, so that's a little bit of a biased perspective, but I'm not like sponsored by Star Stable or anything. This is just my honest opinion. Anyways, the next person said, I want to become a member on your channel. How can I? Also, ideas how to convince my dad for me to become a member. Oh my gosh, that's really funny and that's really nice of you. You can just click join on any of my videos or on my channel page to become a member. And this is for anyone if you want to, but also don't feel pressured to. You don't have to. I mean, and if your parents don't want you to, I respect that decision. You should just listen to your parents. I think it's always good advice to listen to your parents. I'd say 99% of the time that's the best advice, because most of the time your parents have your best interest at heart. Obviously there's exceptions, but it sounds like it's okay. I forgive you if you can't. You don't have to. I hate these repeatable races because it's so unsatisfying when you finish them. They're like still there. Okay, the next person said, I want to become more active IRL. Do you have any tips on how to start becoming more active? I think they're talking about like exercise. I hope you're talking about that. Otherwise, you're about to get advice you weren't asking for. I would say I've stayed mostly active my whole life. I'd say a lot of people go to the gym and I find that really boring. I prefer to do things outside. It just depends on your preference. I'll usually try and take a 30-minute walk every day. I've been really bad about this recently because I have really bad asthma and I haven't been exercising at all. It's like breathing is rough, but find an activity you enjoy. I really enjoy doing yoga classes, and they're like public community classes, so I'm more motivated to actually do it. If you're looking for more free options, there's like so many YouTube videos of different workouts and stuff you could do. I would say try and just get outside more. I think like walking is the most underrated exercise, but go take a walk outside, and it's also really good for your mental health too. Anyways, do what's best for you and however much time you have. I know everyone's different about how much free time they have. I usually try to trick myself into working out or exercise, because instead of like thinking I have an hour to exercise, I'll think I really want to go to a yoga class. And instead of like going to the gym and being like, I have to go pump the iron again, instead I'll be like, oh, I love this class. And it's just a different experience. Fake friends who talk bad about me in my face, make fun of everything I say I'm annoying, exclude me out of things with my other friends, and constantly say rude things to me. Holy cow, I am so sorry. You don't deserve to be treated like that. And I hate to tell you this, those aren't fake friends. Those are called bullies. They're not your friends. Do not hang out with those people anymore. No one that is your friend would ever treat you that way, and you don't deserve it. I would say leave that situation. That is not cool. The next person said, I can't stop collecting SSO horses. Okay, well, you asked the wrong person, because I won't stop collecting SSO horses either. Like I can't. So my friend that I meet like 3 times a year, barely or even less, is my BFF. I don't know at this point if I would even consider my BFF because we barely even meet and connect to literally nothing anymore. I'm gonna camp with her in the summer and I feel like it's gonna be awkward. I don't know, I'm just sad we are connecting less. And I text her more often than she texts me. She likes how I keep in touch, but never even tries to keep in touch with me. Example, I said hi and she said hey, and then that was it. I just feel like there's no point in trying to text anymore if she herself won't make any effort. Also, we went skiing with both families in the winter. Her cousins / friends came along too. Now I'm very introverted and take some time to warm up to people. Anyway, so I tried making an effort to feel included and she just kind of ignored me and I felt a little hurt. I don't know what to do. Help. That's like a tough one. There's a lot going on in that. I feel like definitely distance sometimes in friendships is hard. It's really hard to keep in touch. It takes a lot of effort and I'm not very good at it either. To be fair to your friend, it's hard to like have anything to talk about with people. Like if you don't have common experiences, like you didn't both go to that class where something funny happened, like you don't have anything to talk about sometimes. You don't have any shared experiences. So it might be one of those friendships that is gonna fade out and sometimes those happen and I think I would just let it happen gracefully. But if this is a friendship you actually really value, then I would continue to make effort and instead of just saying hi and then saying hey and nothing, I would say something else, like ask them questions or I don't know, try and establish new connections with them so you have like some shared experiences. I mean, I don't know the circumstances of what happened on your skiing trip because I know sometimes you act differently around different people, like your family, because they're people that you're more comfortable with. Maybe she was nervous too because she hadn't seen you in a while and felt uncomfortable. Maybe she wasn't purposely trying to exclude you. And I'm sorry that happened. That's not fun. I would say I'm like guilty of this too because I'm really bad about keeping in touch with friends I haven't seen in a while and I'm also like pretty introverted, so I'm like usually not the one to initiate stuff. It doesn't mean I don't care, it just means it's not really my personality to initiate stuff with friends. I'm not the one in the friend group that says, hey, we should all do something this weekend. I'm just not. I'm the friend that comes if I like the people texting me, but you know, I'm not the one to initiate. And every friendship needs an initiator, and if you don't want to do that and she doesn't, it sounds like your friendship is ending soon.
Sorry, that sounded really dark.
The next person said, I have gone to many different barns in my horse riding journey, or whatever you want to call it. So after a long time, I finally found a place I like. Heck, I even participated in my first ever show and got 3rd place and 5th place, twice for the different rounds. Anyway, I'm just demotivated to ride anymore. I don't want to quit, but I don't want to ride. Constantly switching barns since they aren't the right fit hasn't really helped either. What do you think I should do? It sounds to me like and this happens with hobbies and even things that you really love. There's definitely periods of time where you fall out of interest of it, and sometimes if you take a break, oh my gosh, no, am I gonna make it? I did. That was amazing. I feel like sometimes taking a break can be really helpful in situations like this where you're experiencing burnout from an activity you enjoy. Sometimes you just need a breather.
Oh my gosh, what the frick is happening in this race?
Why is the self-run so hard to control, first of all? You just need some time to like away from something to decide if it's something you really care about or if it's something you're just doing because you've always done it. And I've definitely had this. I would take a break from riding. If you're really not liking any of the barns you're trying and you don't feel motivated to ride anymore, I would try maybe taking a little break. Not saying quitting. I hate when people say I'm quitting something. It's like, well, I would give it time and think about it if you're really gonna quit. If after a break you haven't missed it at all and have filled it with other things that you enjoy more, I think you have your answer. You don't really care about riding that much. If you miss it a ton, then I think that means it took a long enough break and you can go back to it. Hopefully that helps answer your question. The next person said, how do I get better music taste? I listen to my dopamine song too much and it just doesn't slap anymore. Oh my gosh, that's actually so freaking funny. I would say try new artists. I don't know. I don't listen to like pop music or like popular music. Well, sometimes I do. I mostly listen to alternative and then I find other artists through the alternative. I use Apple Music and it recommends related artists. Or I'll find a song I really like through like YouTube channels, YouTube videos. I don't know. Maybe shift your style of music that you're listening to. I go through phases where I'll really like country and then I'll like alternative and then I'll like rock, then I'll like rap. I go through phases. Maybe try a new genre of music. I don't know. You gotta have one of those friends who's really in on the indie music train because they'll give you good recommendations. We all gotta have that one person who will send you the best albums. Do you have any advice on how to be more confident in yourself? P.S. I love your videos so much. Have a good rest of your day/night. That's so nice. I feel like a lot of the themes of the questions I got were about confidence confidence and friendships. I think everyone is always trying to get more confident in themselves, and I'm definitely not like always the most confident ever, but I do think I kind of feel like secure in who I am. And I would say just own yourself. Don't compare yourself. Comparison never works, and it's never made anyone happier in their whole life. And it's impossible to become another person that's not you, because you're not that person. You should try to become more like you. And I'm not saying if you're a toxic, mean person who's a jerk that you should stay that way because that's who you are. That's not true. You need to work on that. But I think that if you're a good person and you're just struggling with confidence in general, I would say just don't compare yourself to other people and learn who you are. Like, spend some time with yourself and learn what you're good at, what are your personality traits, and then try to become the best you there is instead of trying to become like somebody else. I think that we all fall into that trap. Like, I want to be like this person, but you're not going to be good at being that person because you're not that person. But you know who you can be really good at being? Yourself. So I think some of it is getting to know yourself and then learning to like yourself and enjoy spending time with yourself. I don't know how that happens. I think sometimes it just happens as you get older. I definitely struggled with that more when I was in high school and stuff. And then it's gotten easier as I've gotten older to not care what people think as much. But I feel like a lot of it just depends on your experiences. This person said, "Hi, I would love for you to give me some advice on some friendship problems. Some time ago, I had issues and distanced myself from some friends who I considered very close. They tried to reach out with good intentions, although they said some hurtful things. A month ago, when I felt ready to reconnect, we talked again only briefly and left it at that. I don't know what to do because I feel that it's not fair to them if I go back to talking with them like before, since I feel I hurt them a lot. But in reality, I want to be like with them just like before. What should I do? Thanks a lot." It sounds like they are your friends and they're people you enjoy spending time with. So, and when you're saying they said something that hurt your feelings, maybe I feel like sometimes if people aren't informed about what you're going through, then they don't really know. Maybe to them it seemed like you just didn't like them anymore and hurt their feelings and they lashed out. I don't know the exact situation, but from what I'm getting, it seems like you maybe weren't completely open about what was going on. And I mean, that depends on if you're comfortable, but I always find if you're comfortable opening up to people, it can bring you closer. Maybe just say, "Hey, by the way, it wasn't you guys. I was going through a hard time and I shut down for a little bit, but you know, I really value our friendship and I still would like to be close." I think sometimes that helps you get closer with people, and if they are rude about it, then they're not your friends. But that I might just try being open and honest with them about it, which I know is hard. I have a hard time confiding in people too. I think that's probably your best bet because I think maybe a little trust was probably broken, so you could probably rebuild that just by being honest with what really happened. This person said, "Do you have any advice on how to stop binge watching Koko Rosewater's vids? I don't know if you've heard of her, but she has great content and I can't stop watching. Please give advice." Wait, that's so freaking funny and so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate your binge watching my videos. I don't have advice for that because I also binge watch people's YouTube videos. The only advice is enjoy. The next person said, "I have this girl always following me around saying, 'I'm gonna find you.' I always run, leave, trailer away. They always find me. Help. Hopefully this made it. And I love you so much. You're amazing. I'm your biggest fan." That's super nice. I have a really simple answer. There's an ignore button. Ignore them and then you'll never see them again. I couldn't emphasize this more strongly. You literally have the choice to ignore them. And I would do that. Best of luck. Someone said, "A problem when you're in school and you're sitting alone for that one time when your friends aren't there and the teacher comes up to you and tells you to socialize more." Oh, how I love when adults tell me to be more extroverted. Has that ever made an introverted person more extroverted? The answer is no. I hate this. It is my cringe. However, you can't get offended. Extroverted people, and this includes most teachers, don't understand, and they don't need to. We don't need them to understand. Some people are not like them. Not everyone is a powerhouse who makes friends with the person sitting next to them, and not all of them can. It's just how it is. I hate when people make comments like this because first of all, it's super rude and inconsiderate, but I just think introverts are really good at thinking about other people's feelings, and this isn't always the case. This is a very black and white example because some people have a mix of both. I have a mix of both, but I think like most of the time extroverted people are really good at making friends and social, but they're not as good about thinking about other people's feelings, and introverts have a really good ability to care about other people's feelings and be more sensitive in that way. So we both have skills. Sometimes, usually it's an extrovert who says something like this to me or others like us. Don't take it personally because you can't, because first of all, they're not informed. They don't know what they're talking about. I wouldn't let them hurt your feelings. Just Just because somebody says you need to change the way you are or your personality doesn't mean that you can or that you should. Not everything someone tells you is true. Been there. As an introverted person who's made it through life this far, I've had several people say things that are pretty rude, and it's just from them not being considerate. And am I mad at them? No, because they're not thinking about trying to hurt your feelings. They're just talking without considering the impact of their words. So it's not like they're like a terrible person, but I'd say a lot of people are not super sensitive types of people and probably had no idea that hurt your feelings. Sorry that happened. Someone said, what should I do if the person I have a crush on is 29 years older than me? Help. I'm assuming this is like a celebrity crush. Please, under no circumstances, date or consider dating someone 29 years older than you. That is not okay. I don't care where you are. That's not. You can appreciate someone from afar. Celebrity, okay, whatever. It's just a crush, I guess. But that's a lot. I can't answer this.
Don't do that.
So I reckon I'm around the same age as you. You have never said, I don't think, but based on voice and experiences. I'm in a friend group of 6 and they all have friends of friends that meet up and go to party and everything. They all drink and I'm kind of reluctant. I'm from the UK, which means legal drinking age is 18. It's completely legal, but it doesn't feel right. I have suffered from the negative effects from others around me drinking, and although I haven't tried it once or twice, I'm really not into it. Eventually my friends got sick of me being sober and called me boring and stopped inviting me to the parties. Now I feel isolated and left out, to put it childishly. Should I drink to please them or not go? You should definitely not drink to please other people. You should do what makes you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable drinking with those people or drinking at all, then maybe consider making some new friends or just not going with them when they drink. And if your friends are going to try to peer pressure you into doing something that makes you uncomfortable, they're not being your friends. I mean, they're just not. I personally don't drink at all. I think it's bad for you. And I have a lot of coworkers and people I know who they rely on other things to make them feel okay. And I think that's really dangerous to need that to socialize with people. If you can't talk or have fun without using something else to make you feel like you're having fun, then maybe you need to work on that. I think it is a huge crutch for a lot of people. Like they just want to forget everything and do crazy things, whatever. That's not my style. But I know a lot of people do drink. That's just how it is, adults. But I would say if you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. I don't. Never have, never will. And I am perfectly fine. And I have friends who are not in the party scene and it works. But I mean, to each their own. No, you definitely shouldn't do something that makes you uncomfortable, because in the end, who are you trying to impress? Because like, why are you trying to change yourself to hang out with people who don't enjoy similar things as you, I guess? I might try to find friends that have more in common with you, but I totally understand the feeling left out. That's a real thing. I would just say, what do you value more? How you feel or trying to impress other people? That's a tough one. All right. Okay, you guys asked me a lot of some deep questions and some less deep questions. I wasn't expecting such deep questions. Hopefully everyone's doing okay. Hopefully my advice was helpful and hopefully it didn't like hurt anyone's feelings or make anyone feel bad. That wasn't my intention at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm on thin ice, you'd never guess. I've been hiding a monster, keeping it quiet. I do my best.